Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So today we are going to catch up with the most recent results from the Champions League, talk about the games themselves, some of the nice goals that we've seen, some of the crazy results we've noticed, and then we'll also talk about the table and who's very well placed to qualify. Okay, let's make a start then. So Tuesday the 25th of November we saw Ajax lose. They're having a terrible season so far, to Benfica 2-0. Galatasaray lost at home to Union Saint-Gilloise. I watched that match, it was pretty back and forth, very interesting match. The red card came at the end, if I remember correctly, through a bit of frustration. Yeah, Arda, who just came on, got 2 yellow cards in 9 minutes. Oh, he came on at just after half-time, but all the same. Yeah, so Union Saint-Gilloise, who hadn't actually won up to that point, got a very, very credible result out in Istanbul. Then Bodø/Glimt thought they'd snatched it, but Yildiz came on at half-time and changed the match for Juventus. They scored 3, so it's 2-3 to the Italians, and Openda, McKennie and David scored, cancelling out Blomberg and Fett's goals. Dortmund beat Villarreal quite heavily 4-0 in that match. Goals there from Guirassy with 2 of his, Adeyemi and Svensson. Barcelona humbled a little bit by Chelsea, Koundé with an own goal, Estevao, who looked fantastic, and Delap with the 3 goals. Quite the shock for Barcelona. I think they thought they were going to get something out of the match. Another surprise result, Man City losing 2-0 at home to Leverkusen, Grimaldo and Patrick Schick with the goals against a much changed Manchester City team, who are battling obviously on many fronts at the moment, and Pep decided to rest Haaland and the rest of them, but it didn't quite work out and he had to make many changes, but couldn't get back into the game. Good result for Leverkusen. Marseille coming from a goal down to beat Newcastle at home with 2 goals from Aubameyang to cancel out Harvey Barnes, who's on a great run for Newcastle. Slavia Prague and Athletic Club both needed a result and got a 0-0 draw, so 1 point each. And then Napoli finally broke down a stubborn Karabakh team, McTominay, and an own goal from Jankovic. And then on Wednesday, funny old match this, I watched it, Copenhagen were 3-0 up, and then Kairat managed to score 2 to make it quite nervy in the last couple of minutes, but goals from Dadason, Larsson and Robert with the goals, and Satpayev and Baibek for the Kazakhs. Pafos got an excellent result, 88th minute equaliser, which was an own goal against Monaco. David Luiz scored again, and Minamino and Balogun got the goals for Monaco. Another superb result, this time for Arsenal, beating Bayern Munich. I thought the game would be a lot closer, but to be fair, Arsenal dominated it. The youngster Carl added to his repertoire for Bayern Munich, but Timber, Madueke and Martinelli with a lovely goal at the end, beating a Manuel Neuer who decided to go walkies. So Arsenal won that one. I predicted this could have been the final. I don't think it'll be as open as that in the final, but I would love it if it were, because finals can be a bit boring sometimes. A very late goal from Atletico de Madrid, beating Inter, Alvarez and Jimenez in the 93rd minute with a header and a corner, cancelling out the Polish Zielinski's equaliser early on. Frankfurt lost at home 3-0 to Atalanta. Their defensive problems continue, and when I saw this result I thought, I wonder how Arta Tiat did. And then I looked, and Arta Tiat had a score of 5.7, I've said before, he works in a back three, he doesn't work in a back two. I don't know why they keep playing him there. And which is a great result for Atalanta. And then Liverpool, obviously, a lot of chat about this. Klopp, obviously, Arne Slot used to manage, it wasn't PSV, it was Feyenoord. But yeah, to be beaten at home 4-1 by a Dutch team, I think is quite the shock for the home fans, and I think that they're starting to get quite upset about it. Subsequently, they did win on the weekend, so it's quieting things down a little bit, but not having a great season. So Szoboszlai with the only goal. He's definitely their best player this season. I keep saying it. And then for PSV, Perisic, still going, still scoring, brilliant player. Hostil and Druesch with 2 goals. Brilliant result for the Dutch. And 3-4 between Olympiacos and Real Madrid. 4 goals from Mbappe. He's unplayable at the moment. No penalties for him, which is unusual, because every time I see Mbappe scored, it's usually a penalty, but he just had 4 of his classic beat the offside trap goals. I can't believe they were playing so high against him. But, you know, expectedly, El Khabi got a goal. Taremi as well, and Chiquinho. Very good try from Olympiacos, but maybe try and man mark Mbappe. Easier said than done. Vinicius had a good game as well. Paris Saint-Germain beating Tottenham 5-3. Topsy-turvy game. Vitinha with some absolutely stunning strikes. I think is generally considered that he's one of the best players, one of the best midfielders in the world right now. Absolutely unsavable. Ruiz and Bacho with the other goals, and Richarlison, and then 2 for Kulumwani. Weirdly, because of course he's on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. And Frank is another manager that's under a bit of pressure, not because of that game, but because of the subsequent result on the weekend in the league. Sporting beating Club Brugge, which is a good thing at the moment, because Club Brugge are in good form. Quenda, Suarez and Trincao with the goals. So, let's have a look at the table then. So Arsenal are sort of way ahead of everyone else at the moment, 3 points ahead. But remember what happened to Liverpool last year. They can't take their eyes off the ball, but I think they're guaranteed to get through in some capacity, but almost certainly to get through automatically at this point. But it's not mathematical. Paris Saint-Germain is second, Bayern Munich in third, Inter in fourth, Real Madrid in fifth. Then we've got Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea and Sporting. Sporting have got Bayern next. That should be an interesting match. Then we've got Man City, Atalanta, Newcastle, Atleti, Liverpool, Galatasaray, who missed the chance to get 12 points and be in the top 6. PSV, Tottenham, Bayer Leverkusen, Barcelona down in 18th. Just above on goal difference, Karabakh, who are having a sensational time of things. Napoli down there, Marseille, Juventus, Monaco, and then Paphos have snuck into the playoff spots. Union Saint-Gilloise, I was incorrect, have had one other win apart from the one they got in Istanbul. Club Brugge in 26th, Athletic Club, who are just had to pick up some points, but they've got Paris Saint-Germain next. Frankfurt, Copenhagen, Benfica, Slavia Prague, Bode Glimt, Olympiacos, Villarreal, Kairat Almaty, and down the bottom, would you believe it, Ajax. Okay, let's take a look then at the Europa League. Okay, so top are Lyon. Midtjylland are second, but they came up against Roma. So they've got their first loss. Doing brilliantly though. Aston Villa in third. Freiburg in fourth. Real Betis in fifth. Ferencváros in sixth. Braga, Porto make up the top 8. Then we got in the playoff spots Genk, Celta Vigo, Lille, Stuttgart, Pilsen, Panathinaikos, Roma, who are starting to understand how this works before their trip to Glasgow. Second trip to Glasgow. Nottingham Forest, Thessaloniki, Bologna, Bran, Fenerbahce, Celtic, Red Star, Dinamo Zagreb and Basel. And currently outside of the qualification spots we have Ludogorets, who won their last game, Young Boys, Go Ahead Eagles, Sturm Graz, Salzburg, Feyenoord, FCSB Utrecht, who were unlucky to lose their last match, Rangers, Malmö, Maccabi and Nice down the bottom, who are having a terrible time of things. Let's take a look. Aston Villa beating Young Boys 2-1, goals from Donny Mahler. Porto hammering Nice 3-0, 2 goals from Vega and 1 from Agahawa. From the spot, Fenerbahce 1, Ferencváros 1, Feyenoord losing at home. It was very tight though. I saw the roundup of the goals. Young, Hatate and Nygren with the goals to cancel out Ueda, who's having a superb season. It could have gone either way, to be honest. Then Lille beating Dinamo Zagreb 4-0, Ludogorets beating Celta Vigo 3-2. It's a credible result. Thessaloniki 1-0 with Bran. Roma, as I said, beating Midtjylland, El Ainawi and El Sharawi with the goals. Paulinho made it a little bit awkward at the end. Pilsen and Freiburg 0-0. Bologna beating Salzburg 4-1. Goals from Odegaard, Dalinga, Bernardeschi and my favourite Orsolini. Crvena Zvezda beating FCSB with a goal from Duarte 1-0. Genk beating Basel 2-1. Stuttgart beating Go Ahead Eagles 4-0 with goals from Leveling, El Khanous and Bouanani. Lyon hammering Maccabi 6-0, a hat-trick from Tolisso in that match. Forest beating Malmö in a return of that cup final where they won it, Nottingham Forest 3-0, Yates, Kalimoenga and Milenkovic with the goals. Panathinaikos beating Sturm Graz 2-1, Świderski in Calabria. Rangers drawing at home 1-1 with Braga, Tavernier with a penalty and Martinez with the equaliser. And Real Betis beating Utrecht. I couldn't figure out why the Utrecht goal was given offside. I thought they deserved to get something out of that game. They were pretty decent in the second half. Hernandez and Ezalzouli with the goals to cancel out the brilliant Rodriguez. Okay, and then we're going to take a look at Conference League before we finish. Samsunspor having a brilliant time of things, the Turkish team. They are top, Strasbourg in second, Celje, after their first loss, are in third, Shakhtar in fourth, Mainz, Raków Częstochowa, Larnaca and Drita. Then we have in the playoff spots, Jagiellonia Białystok, Athens, Sparta Prague, Rayo Vallecano, Lausanne, Sigma Łódź, Uniwersytetia Krajowa, Lech Poznań, Fiorentina, Crystal Palace, who had a bit of a shock result, Suninski Mostar, AZ Alkmaar, Ammonia Nicosia, Kups, FC Noah, Rijeka. And then outside of qualification we have Skandia, Lincoln Red Imps, Dynamo Kiev, Legia Warszawa surprisingly, Slovan Bratislava as well surprisingly, seems they're in the Champions League like last year, Hamrun Spartans, Häcken, Breiðablik, Aberdeen, who are struggling to see out games, Shelbourne, Shamrock Rovers, and down the bottom with no points so far, surprisingly, Rapid Vienna. Last round of results were Alkmaar beat Shelbourne 2-0, Spartans beat Lincoln Red Imps 3-1, Lech Poznan beat Lausanne 2-0, goals from Ismail and Aniero. Raków Częstochowa beat Rapid Vienna 4-1, Sigma Łódź. I said that Celje would win, but Sigma Łódź did. Ghali with 2 goals to cancel out Vidovic. Slovan Bratislava beating Rayo Vallecano. 2 goals to 1, Kasia and Jirajang with the goals. Universitatea Craiova beating Mainz, another shocking result, Al Hamlawi with the goal. Surinski Mostar beating Häcken of Sweden Zuse and Bilbia with the goals. Aberdeen tried their best but huffed and puffed. Nisbet with the 1 goal, but it's 1-1 for them against FC Noah. Breiðablik drawing with top of the table Samsunspor. Excellent result for the Icelandic team. Drita beating Skandia. Fiorentina losing at home. They're obviously doing very badly in Serie A. 1-0 Gacinovic with the goal for AEK. Jagiellonia Białystok beating Kups with the goal from Bolulu. Legia Warszawa losing at home to Sparta Praha. Preciado with the goal. Rijeka drawing with Larnaca. Shamrock losing ever so slightly to Shakhtar. Mali with the home team goal, and then Elias and Nazarina for the away team. And lastly, big result, Strasbourg beating Crystal Palace, who have been kind of unbeatable in League and Cup for quite some time. 2-1, Emera and El Mourabet with the goals for the home team, Mitchell with the goal for the away team. And that is that. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I will share with you my predictions in a post, so keep an eye out for that, because I wanted to do a shorter video today. I'm a bit pushed for time, sorry. So if you enjoyed the video, please do like it. Leave a comment of what you think some of the results are going to be in the next round of matches. Look out for that post that I'm going to do with my Predict 6, and join me on the app doing that. And subscribe if you want to see updates every week from the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League on this channel, which is an ASMR football channel. Okay, thanks everyone, see you soon, and bye.